From the DJC Collectibles Studio, I'm Midwest professional wrestling legend Gage Octane. And now, here's a guy who has more band shirts than most people have t-shirts. Kyle Peterson.
Everyone, Kyle here, back again for episode number 3 of the Kyle Peterson Show. And of course, my beautiful co-host right here, Angie.
How's it going?
Angie, say hello. I was going to say, but she said hello. And Angie, how are you doing?
Good.
Welcome to week number 3 of the Kyle Peterson Show. How's it going so far? Any feedback from people out there in the wilds, the stores or anything?
No, nobody I know personally.
Nobody personally has said that they are enjoying your stuff, but a lot of people in the comments enjoying your stuff. A lot of people raving about Angie on the podcast so far, and Angie's here each and every week until she can't.
I'm just here for the laughs.
She's just here for the laughs and a good time. We've got a lot of segments to dive into. Of course, you guys have seen, if you've watched the first 2 episodes of this show so far, we've got different segments throughout, and we're going to get into those here today. But of course, we got a little opening action here, and Angie's here for all the action. But first, want to plug my book, Angie, and you know why I want to plug it?
Nobody else will.
Nobody else will, so if I don't do it, who will? But it is the brand new book, The Complete Guide to the ECW Original San Francisco Toy Makers, with foreword by Brian Myers. Available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble as you're watching this. Yes, hardcover, softcover, pick your poison. Pick up your copy today. And if you want to order a copy from me, Angie, I'm supposed to have, I think, the 15th of the month, I am supposed to have my copies through the door. So if you guys want an autographed copy, something like that, reach out to me. I will include a special bookmark, limited to me, of course, but it is the ECW bookmark. I can sign the back. Angie's even had some requests for some signatures, and my dad, so either of them will sign it as well. And with that, we'll include, while supplies last, a Kyle Peterson Show sticker as well. So appreciate all the support on the book. A lot of good times on the book here. So more to come, and you know what, Angie, I'll keep plugging it because you know why?
Yeah, no one else will.
No one else will. So somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do the hard work right there. So I do got that. So that's a little bit of an update. And of course, Patreon, I should plug the Patreon here. I don't know if I've done it on here yet, but that is your one-stop shop for this channel. You can get early access to the podcast. You get early access to both my YouTube channels, all the videos, the glamour shots. Everything's over on Patreon. Appreciate the support over there. But this week, Angie, I did put up channel memberships on YouTube. Now, a lot of people say, I don't want to do Patreon. I don't want to leave that. I want to stick to YouTube. So if you want to be a YouTube channel member, you will get early access to the videos. So check that out if you want. Patreon, just by the setup over there, there's a lot more available. There's a lot more that you can do. But if you want early access to the videos, I am putting them up in post for channel members. So that is brand new. Some people like it. Some people don't. Pick your poison. Choose whatever you want to do. Either way, thank you for supporting the channels. Thank you for supporting Angie and her Starbucks habit every single day. So there's a little bit of housekeeping there. Did I miss anything in the housekeeping?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. How's your housekeeping going this week?
Crazy.
Crazy. You're keeping the house clean. It's spring cleaning, and we got big spring cleanup this weekend here. I don't know if your guys' neighborhoods do that, but once a year you can put anything on the curb and they'll basically take it. So I got a broken snowblower to put on there, an old lawnmower to put on there.
Lots of cardboard.
Yeah, a lot of cardboard. A couple of bookshelves. What else we got to go on there? A dollhouse going out on the corner. What else? Are you going to sit on the corner?
That's sad times.
No, it was sad. Yeah, dollhouse. It's sad. The kids are getting older, which I guess segues into Angie. What happened this week? It was a big birthday this week.
Emma,
of course, good friend of the channel. Is she? Is she a good friend of the channel? I don't know if she is a good friend of the channel.
Friend. I don't know.
I don't know if she's a good friend of the channel. She used to be probably the best friend of the channel. She used to debut and come on here as Chucky all the time. The real ones that have been around here 5 years on the channel. Remember Emma, we'd go out all night. We'd go out as Chucky. It was crazy. We'd be in the middle of summer. We'd go to the restaurant on a Friday night. She'd be in her Chucky outfit. We'd go to ice cream. She'd be in her Chucky outfit. Obsessed. She basically lived her life as Chucky. So beautiful times. We even did some videos of her as Chucky on the channel. So fun times. The kids grow up so fast. Can't believe it. We got 2 kids double digit now. It's just unbelievable. So they're all too old and too cool to hang out with us. And all they want to do is sit in their rooms and just listen to that sweet K-pop music. Oh, K-pop, the greatest music you'll ever hear. Or maybe not.
But it was a K-pop birthday too. All the decorations and the presents.
And if I think parents can relate with this one here. But kids go through a lot of phases, a lot of fads. Now, me personally, I didn't really go through any fads back in the day. Every phase I went through as a kid, guess what? They stuck with me. I'm very passionate about what I liked ever since I was a kid. I liked G.I. Joe when I was 4 years old. Guess what? I like G.I. Joe now. I liked wrestling when I was 6 years old. guess what? I like wrestling now.
You're just a big kid. You're just a big kid.
I am a big kid, but I get into Paul McCartney and the Beatles and stuff in 4th grade. I still listen to that now. I'm into Black Sabbath, Faith No More, you name it. I'm into it now. It never changes. But these kids, these no good kids, how many different things have they got into?
I don't know. I'm guessing by Christmas.
Ugh.
They won't ask for K-pop Christmas. It won't be a K-pop Christmas.
Oh, it grinds my gears because I see all this money going out on all this K-pop stuff and all these books and these posters. And you would think our kids are Korean at this point. I mean, I don't know. They're going to ask for Korean barbecue because you go into their rooms, it's K-pop stuff everywhere. It looks like little Korea. That's how I imagine Korea to be. And I don't know what my grandpa would say.
Emma even sings the Korean lyrics.
Oh my gosh. So I hope they at least come away with learning Korean. I don't know how well that'll get them in this day and age. Maybe it'll be okay. I don't know. But I know my grandpa, he passed away many years ago. He would not be into this Korean stuff because we all have grandparents out there that maybe were a touch racist, a touch maybe. But he fought in the Korean War back in the day. So, him and Korea never really got along. And I guess it's understandable. And, my grandpa always said, they tried to kill me. So, I don't know. But it was a K-pop celebration. We had all these K-pop boys, and they could be girls or boys. It's very confusing. I'm not sure which way they're going there. But on the cake.
They're a little too pretty.
Little too pretty. Not manly men. I said, I don't think any of these can grow facial hair. That's for sure. They definitely can't rock a Western shirt. That's for sure. But it was a wild K-pop. And then we got an ice cream cake. Oh, shout out to the ice cream cake. Now, we should have done a taste test there because for Elle's birthday, we got a Baskin-Robbins cake. It was terrible. Baskin-Robbins, what are we doing there? Just stick to your baseball nut. Angie loves the nuts. She loves the nuts come summertime. Oh, who are we fooling? Year round, you're here for the nuts. We know that. But beautiful over there. I strongly recommend that at Baskin-Robbins. I don't recommend their ice cream cakes at all. But Dairy Queen, DQ something different. Hot eats, cool treats. Dairy Queen stepping up with the birthday cake, and it was pretty good.
I don't know if they're stepping up. They've been stepped up.
I don't know. And what really grinded my gears that day, there was a long line, and they said you can't go inside. But then they had a sign in front of the store saying, come up to the walk-up window. So I'm like, okay, well, beat these 10 cars in traffic, go up to the walk-up window. And what do they say? They don't even say they go around. Go around. It's like, it says right here, come to the walk-up window. Oh, it's hard time. So it was a Korean pop. It was just a Korean birthday is what it was. And now we need to go to a K-pop barbecue, I think, and just really embrace that Korean life is what we need to do. But happy birthday to Emma. I can't believe it. It's been 10 years. Can you believe that?
Crazy.
10 years of Emma on this planet. I don't know if the world will ever be the same, but here we go. We're diving into year number 11. But that's about it for the opening housekeeping here. Of course, got the plugs out of the way because nobody else is going to do it, as Angie said multiple times. Recap the old Emma there. But now, in a plot twist over the first 2 episodes, Angie, you better be ready for this. You better be ready. Angie's going to stick around for a deeper dive. All right, Angie is here this time for a deeper dive, and this is usually the segment where I dive deeper into a topic with just me, because that's where people want to see right into me and my face, my beautiful face, of course. But Angie's here, and I said, Angie, you got to stick around for this one, as we're getting close to that time, more like it. April 19th, 20th, I think it's Easter weekend. It is WrestleMania, and WrestleMania, the boyhood thing that's been in my life since I was a little kid. I've never missed a WrestleMania. I always watch WrestleMania like most wrestling fans do. It is basically the Super Bowl of wrestling, Angie. And you're familiar with WrestleMania. You've heard of WrestleMania. And a lot of people have put in the comments, Kyle, you should do a predictions video. You should do something like that in a lot of the YouTube comments. And I think I did a video like this a year or 2 ago on YouTube. Once again, plug in the YouTube, subscribe if you haven't, where you're watching this. And of course, wherever our audio is found, you can find the podcast as well. Cheap plug once again. But people said, give the predictions. And I watch wrestling. I watch wrestling every week. I watch all the wrestling. But Angie, what do? I wait for you to go to bed. I usually put on the wrestling. I edit videos while I'm watching. So I'm not sitting there just focused in. It's like in the background there. So I know enough to be dangerous. Let's call it that. And Angie knows enough to be dangerous too. I think she knows everybody that's on this card. But what we're going to do, I thought, for the deeper dive was run down the WrestleMania card and each of us give our prediction of who we think's going to win.
Oh, God.
But then we're going to up the stakes, Angie. We're going to up the stakes.
No.
So whoever gets the most correct gets to ask for a favor or do something, whatever the other person wants them to do. Are you up for this agreement?
favor or like can it be like a dare?
It could be anything. It could be anything
do
you
a
want
dare.
me to do. Well, watch out for that. But we're going to run down the list. Now, I am filming this before WrestleMania in all full transparency. So as of right now, the card I'm going to run through, this is the card we know. Now, there is a few things like, is there going to be a United States Championship, Intercontinental Championship female match on the card? We're not sure about that. We're not sure about the men's tag team title. Will there be the Battle Royal? Will it be on SmackDown? What's going to happen with Randy Orton? We know he was going to face Kevin Owens. Could he face Nick Aldis? So we're only going to do the predictions of the stuff we know. And Angie's like, you're speaking a foreign language to me, is what she's saying.
Some of these people.
But we're going to run through and we're going to see, and I'm going to keep track right here of whose each prediction is. But if I win, I get to do whatever. I get to tell her to do whatever, and vice versa. So Angie, you have an idea of what you want me to do?
Yeah, it just popped in my head.
Okay, all right. What do you want?
If I win, you're going to put on the warrior costume and ride the electric bike around the neighborhood. Just around the block one time.
And do we have to film it?
Yes, and we'll film it.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well,
I feel like if you win, you should do it too.
If I should win, I should do it either way. No, if I win, Angie is going to do whatever I ask her to do at that moment.
My God.
Whatever.
I wonder what it's going to be.
But she'll do whatever I want whenever I want. So you're the best wife ever, that's for sure. But I don't know. I'll think of something. But Angie's going to be in for a hard favor. A hard favor.
Oh, my God. Your parents watch this.
What are you talking about? These gutters need clean and they put back together. I'm going to really put you to work.
New gutters. I'm not cleaning them.
Putting you on the ladder is what I'm going to do. But we'll see. So, boy, oh boy, if Angie wins, I'm going to be driving around the Ultimate Warrior on the electric bike. Oh, shout out that electric bike. I haven't even used it in like 2 years. That was an interesting thing. Watched the video on that way back when. But all right, Angie, let's run down the card.
Oh my God.
Give me your prediction here.
Are you going first?
I don't care. You can go first. I'll go first. Doesn't matter.
Like you should go first.
Okay. All right. We're going to go with the main event of night 2. No particular order right here. We don't know the exact match card. Cody Rhodes.
Oh my God.
Cody Rhodes, good friend of the channel. Cody Rhodes, of course. Good friend. Good Masters of the Universe collector brother, of course. Got us some nice seats a few times or two. Versus John Cena. John Cena, of course, another good friend of the channel. It's like picking between the children. That's what it is.
I feel like Cena will win because it'll be like shocking.
I agree with Cena. So we're crossing each other out on there. I think John's going to do it. The Rock might get involved. Something like that might happen. But I'm going John Cena as well.
Somebody will cheat. There'll be some cheating.
That's right. That's right. So then the next one, the main event from night 1, I believe Saturday, is going to be CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, your old friend, and Roman Reigns.
Oh, my God.
3-way match.
I'm going to go with CM Punk.
Ooh, CM Punk.
I feel like we're bringing back some legends.
And I am going to go... Gosh, that's where I was thinking about going. That's a tough one.
I'm better at this than I thought.
That's where I was thinking about going, CM Punk too. Just because it's the boyhood dream to main event WrestleMania, so I guess we're going to cancel each other out as well. We'll see how we go on this one, and if I have to make a choice, I have to make a choice. All right. Now we got the world title match here. We got Jey Uso. Can I get a yeet?
Yeet.
Yeeting all around, of course. Good friend. All these guys, good friend. It's hard. Of course, Jey Uso and me spent some time together just recently against one of my boys, Gunther, and quite the... not a lot of anticipation for this match until the bloodbath from about 2 weeks ago. Old school bloodbath. I was here for that. Yeah. So Gunther versus Jey Uso.
Oh, gosh. I guess Uso.
That's why it's definitely going to be Jey Uso for sure.
You'll be yeeting all over.
We're not going anywhere right here. And there's going to be yeeting all over. I'm going to be yeeting as part of the thing. That's for sure. All right. Now we continue on with females here.
Oh, gosh.
Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky.
Oh my god.
It's a triple threat.
Let me see it again.
Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. You know all 3 of these performers. And daughter Elle loves her some Io Sky.
I guess Rhea.
Oh, we're on the same page here. I'm going Rhea as well. So this could come down to one match. It really could. Rhea, an all-timer here. I don't know. I'm voting with my heart on this one, maybe not my mind. I don't know. She recently lost the title. I don't think Io wins. I feel like, I don't know.
Bianca might.
Bianca
I
could
couldn't decide
win.
between Bianca.
I think it's going to be Bianca most likely, but I'm going to vote for Rhea. That's what I'm going to think. And maybe part of the win, you could dress up as Rhea with her face paint or
kinda
whatever
look
it is
like
she's
her.
got going on. You kind of got that vibe. A lot of people, I get compared to people all the time. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, The Big Show, AJ Styles, the Cowardly Lion. I used to get Hugh Grant back in the day all the time. And people are starting to say, you look like Stephanie McMahon, I've heard. Who else did I hear? They said somebody else as well. But we both get around, apparently. Apparently, doppelgangers. But we're both going Rhea Ripley. All right. Well, it's not going so hot so far. Next up, Tiffany Stratton.
Do I know who that is?
And versus Charlotte Flair.
Okay, Flair.
Ugh. We're on the same page
I don't
here.
even know who the other girl is. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, she's blonde. They're both blondes. She's from Minnesota. Shout out to Minnesota. Minnesota Nice,
yeah,
of course.
I think I have you.
I just feel like Charlotte's going to win for some reason. Once again, I think Tiffany should win, but I think Charlotte will win. All right, now we're another one of those big matches here. This is which could separate us here. It's Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. A fatal four-way, as it's known in some circles.
I didn't even know who those first two are.
Braun Breaker, Penta, he's got the mask on. Cero Romero, you probably don't know him. Finn Balor, you know for sure. Dominic Mysterio, you do know. So, what are you thinking?
Gosh,
what are you thinking?
Know. I don't even know who these people are.
I mean, that's where this one is where it's going to separate. This could be the one that comes down to where it's going to go.
I'm going to go with this Pentas one.
Oh my gosh, I was going to go Penta too.
I was going to do Braun or him because I don't think the other two would.
I feel like Braun will lose but not take the pinfall to protect him there. Gosh, I was going to go Penta. And I feel like Finn and Dominic will finish the breakup right there, so that'll be their story. And I think Penta will win by pinning Dominic or Finn after one of them does something. But Angie, to be different, to break the tie, I'm going to go Braun Breaker. Angie's going to go Penta.
I was going to go Braun.
Well, we just
I
switched around.
flipped.
So it is what it is. So we finally got something broke here. Next one here for the United States Championship, Angie. It is LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with either of these ones.
Never heard of either.
All right. Well, Jacob Fatu, part of the bloodline there. LA Knight is the United States champion. Pick your poison on that one.
Oh my gosh. I guess I'll stick with Knight.
Okay, and I'll go Fatu. That works for me. Good. We're really getting different now. Knight, Angie, Kyle. All right. Next one of your all-time favorite wrestlers, social media personalities. It is Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. What do you think on this one?
Go with Styles.
Well, Styles for miles, of course. I'm going to go Logan Paul, so
I'll be sad.
AJ, Angie, Kyle. All right, we got that written down. All right,
now we're all different.
We're getting deeper down the card here now. Now it is Jade Cargill. You remember her? Girl with all the muscles.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Got the storm look to her, the grayish silver hair there. Versus Naomi. Feeling the glow, Naomi.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy, this could be the one. You never know.
Okay, I'll go with Naomi.
All right, and I'll go Jade. We're really separated now. I think you might be right on that, but I'm just going to be different.
So strong.
All
I
right.
feel like you always get it right.
I hope so. I hope so for my sake. Here. You're gonna be serving some hard times like a young big boss man if you're not careful. All right, next up we got Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano in a masked match, a masked luchador match. Now, Chad Gable is supposedly El Grande Americano, so I don't know. Who do you bet on this one? Rey Mysterio versus El Grande.
I'll go for El Grande. Just as
okay. I'm gonna go Rey, so that works again. Kyle Ray. All right. Okay, and then the other one that is rumored to happen, we're going to put this in here. It is Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. What do you think on that one? I don't know if you know either of them.
I know who Drew McIntyre is. So
Okay.
I guess I'll go with him. I don't know the other one.
All right, and I'll go Priest because I don't really have I could go either way as far as things are considered. That's going to be the Rick Martel Coco Beware match at WrestleMania 6, I think. We'll never forget that. So that is the selections. We're going to see how it goes, and maybe we'll do a little recap here once WrestleMania is over. We'll see what happens on that one there. But there it is. That is a deeper dive. Next up is Figure of the Week. And this week, I wanted to mix it up, do something different. Something that is really not talked about or really shown in my collection videos or my collections. I don't ever talk about it. And I saw this just the other day upstairs. I said, this would be something good. And I guess we're bending the rules a little bit. Not necessarily figure of the week, but it will be statue of the week this week. Angie, if you want to go grab it, like a young Vanna White. Oh, here it is. She's going to get this. But this came out in 2015, and this sat on my office desk at work for many a years. Now, Angie, you going to place it right there for us?
Jeez, good thing I'm ripped.
Oh, man, good thing. And it is Iron Maiden Power Slave Bust. This is Eddie, of course. If you know your Iron Maiden, you know who this one is. And this one is sitting right above.
A little dusty, I think.
A little dust on here. This one sits right by Angie's makeup station. You're going to look at this every single morning. And we just kind of stuck that there while we were doing some remodeling, and it never left. So I should probably get that out of there eventually somewhere else.
Because it's right in direct sun.
That's true. It's right there. So, but this is a very, very cool statue. This came out in 2015. And like I said, I had this in my office for many, many years. When I was working away, this was right there. So very crazy.
Just inspiring you.
Very, very large, of course. But this has got to be worth a good amount of money all these years later. I don't usually collect things for value, but one thing you can usually bet on a lot of times is action figures of musicians, artists, pop culture type stuff. A lot of times that holds its value. And there's a lot of rabid Iron Maiden fans out there. There's a lot of fans probably didn't know this existed that would want to pick this one up. And this was like $299 back in 2015. It was made by NECA, of course. A very, very cool thing that I've never seen re-released there. But it is definitely a statement piece. It is definitely something different. And like I said, it's something I usually don't talk about. I don't show in my action figure collections. But I do have some of this kind of stuff. And I always did like this one. I don't think I could ever sell this. It is just so cool. And Power Slave, one of my all-time favorite Iron Maiden albums. So a very special one here. Not necessarily figure of the week, but this week it's all about the statue of the week. But Angie, now we got to get to our next segment. This is Angie's specialty right here. It's time to try new foods because they may taste good.
You can try a little bit of this and a little bit of that. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. We gotta try new food because they might taste good.
All right, time for the next segment here. And Angie, you got to try new food.
Might taste good.
Because it might taste good. That's exactly right. And we got another new item here today. And that's one of the things we're going to do here. As I described in the other episodes is I'm a guy that's been in the grocery business for way too many years at this point. I've seen new items come. I've seen new items go. It is the lifeblood of all industries. That's what moves industry forward here. And there's all these companies out there trying new things all the time. And Angie has something for us extra special this week. I think we might have talked about this a while ago that I've been on the lookout for them. Finally found them this week. Angie found them as well. So apparently they're finally hitting the market. But Angie, what do we got this week?
We just grab it off the floor.
Off the floor. Some floor food. 5-second rule.
Some Reese's.
Reese's peanut butter and jelly. What is it? One's grape and one is strawberry?
Yep.
Let's see. So we got a strawberry. So they have like their caramel ones. They have their volcano ones, their lava ones. Now we have strawberry and grape. And everybody loves a PB&J. Some people like to leave the P off. They love those too. We love them across the board. I'm here for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich any day. And I prefer chunky peanut butter. I think you like creamy.
No, I did, but I'm a chunky girl now.
Oh, she used to like it creamy. Now she likes it chunky. And I've always liked it chunky. I've always been a chunky guy as far as that goes. But very anxious to try these. Now, I think we might have mentioned this before. Maybe we didn't. Angie, correct me if I'm wrong. But Reese's has really went downhill the last decade or so. I used to love a Reese's peanut butter cup. When I was a kid trick-or-treating, going out there, oh my gosh, there was nothing better than a peanut butter cup. That was with the upper echelon of the candies. And like a lot of things, they've changed formulas, the extra ingredients, chemicals, whatever it may be, has really put the damper on these over the years. And I've had a Reese's every once in a while. I'm like, I'm going to try one of those. I really like those. I'm going to try it again. And every time I'm left with heartache and disappointment. Do you concur?
Yes.
It's just so weird. I think the only Reese's peanut butter cups that taste good in this day and age are those little circle ones that you use for like cookies and stuff. Those ones still taste okay, but most of these, they just have like a coating over the top. It's too chemically. The chocolate's not soft enough. Obviously, they don't want it to melt, so there's extra hardeners in there, a little business term there. So it is very disappointing. But in the grand scheme of things, I got to try this. I wanted to try this. Now today is the day, Angie. So let's open these up. Let's see what's going on. I guess we'll each trade one. Since there's two in each, we'll each take one of each.
Oh, gosh.
So if we can get them open here. Now, the worst thing is, too, these are the big cups. And, you know, wasn't Shaq a big guy about the big cups? See you later. Goodbye. Get it out there.
I don't know why I'm trying to open it pretty.
Just trying to be pretty here. There we go. See you later. Goodbye. All right. So I'm going to give you... I have strawberry. Strawberry here. Grape here.
Okay.
Grape here. Strawberry. All right. What are we going to start with?
I'm already confused.
Oh, I think this is strawberry. I think. See you later again. For the audio listeners, they love those see you laters. What are we starting with? Strawberry?
I hope it is the same.
All right.
We can almost split a cup. Do you want to split it?
No. I'm not going to eat the whole thing, but these do not come off the wrapper very good. I will say that right there.
Yeah, they are hard to
They're
peel.
fighting me off the wrapper.
Sometimes the quality is better in these limited ones because it's like there's less production of them.
So they're like a Reese peanut butter cup. They got the what is that on the ends? I mean, that's very iconic out of the packaging. Very iconic. So it fits the mold. It fits what it is. But it is very, very big. But we're going to see here. Of course, give it a smell.
We're going to need a cleanup crew.
Smell. I can smell some chocolate peanut butter. I don't smell any strawberry or grape if I mix these up. And we're going to rate these out of 5 as we do. That is the scale right here. But Angie, let's do it. Cheers. Oh my gosh, strawberry. I can see because it's red.
The strawberry is very thin. Like
it is very thin strawberry.
It's very thin. Like when you bite, you can't even see where you.
100% needs more strawberry. There's a lot of peanut butter in the middle, but it does taste very chemically on the top.
The mix, I mean, it almost has become grainy over the years. Like it's not creamy at all. Oh, now I'm getting like as the more you chew it, you get the strawberry kick.
I do. I don't know. Maybe it's just this one, but the peanut butter does taste better than the normal ones I've had over the last couple of years. It was actually not bad, but it's really hard to taste the strawberry. You got to really kind of think about it as you're diving into it. And now I've got it all over my hands. I don't know what I think of that.
Reese's is probably the worst candy that's gone downhill for me.
It really is. A lot of people don't like Butterfingers, think those went downhill. I actually I don't know if I prefer, but I do still enjoy the Butterfinger. But
they have gotten hard. It's hard to get like a good one that's actually got a good texture.
So I don't know. That's the strawberry. That's a lot. Those big cups are a lot. Like a half of one is.
We still have to eat the other one.
Yeah. So now we're going to dive into the other one here. We got the grape one. We'll see which one we like better. We'll rate each one of them here.
The grape came off cleaner, a lot cleaner. Good yours?
Yeah, it does come off cleaner, the grape.
Off the package.
I don't get any smell out of this one.
I'm so full.
It smells like pesticides. I don't know. All right, let's do the grape.
Cheers. Oh my gosh, look at that pull.
Oh. Got that pull off her mouth right there. Wild. I don't taste grape at all in this.
But for some reason, this one tastes better than the other one. To me.
I think the strawberry tasted better to me. 2 bites is all I'm doing. Riveting watching us chew and eat. I don't taste the grape at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty subtle in both of them.
Yeah, for sure I prefer the strawberry over the grape. What about you? Are you the other way around?
I like the way the peanut butter tastes better with the grape. Because I can't really taste either of the jellies.
I definitely like the peanut butter more on the strawberry. And that's what carried that one to the lead. I got a very small hint of strawberry, but nothing overwhelming at all. Grape, I've ate half of it. I don't taste it at all. So, I don't know. Either way, like a lot of these new items, probably not going to pay for them again. Probably not going to buy them again. Would you ever crave one of these again? No. I usually crave beef jerky, and I know you crave the beef jerky a time or two. You like the big, thick stick beef jerky, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, I don't know. Neither of these set my world on fire. I do prefer the strawberry over the grape. You're the other way around. What would you rate each one of these out of 5? I guess let's do grape first.
I'll give them like both a 2.5.
2.5? That's not terrible. That's middle of the road.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to go for the grape. I'm going to go a 1 out of 5. It just tasted like chemicals. I didn't even get a very good peanut butter flavor out of that. I'm going to go a low 3, as low as it goes on the strawberry though, because I got a little hint of strawberry in there, but the peanut butter for just a split second reminded me of the childhood peanut butter I'm craving and chasing that dragon for. So I did enjoy
and you're a strawberry guy.
And I am a strawberry guy, so I guess that makes sense too. But the grape, not good at all. But the strawberry, I preferred. But either way, I wouldn't buy these again. But that's what these companies want you to do. Always remember that. They want every dollar out of your wallet. So they get this out. They get people like us to try it once. Then they move on, and now they're going to have a lava explosion with chocolate lava, or they're going to have a caramel infused one. They're going to keep doing and turning and burning to get you to buy it at least once. Hopefully you like it, buy more. Hopefully everybody tries it once, then they get something new. We see that with drinks. We see that with candy. We see that with chips. We see that across the board. And that's part of the magic, I guess, of new items, a part of the strategy out there.
This one's
for
got
people
good
at
charm
retail.
too. I feel like this one will really sell.
Everybody loves a PBJ, especially you hold the P, but they love the PBJs out there. It's a childhood favorite, of course. Still to this day, I eat it, and I almost choke and die every time I do, but that's a story for another day. But PBJ, an interesting concoction. I think it makes a lot of sense. Good move out of the Hershey's Corporation. Whether or not you like it, you got to be the judge. But for us, middle of the road, probably won't try again. So there it is, Angie. That was got to try new foods because it might taste good, of course. Now we're going to segue into the album of the week. All right, next up, time for album of the week, Angie. And album of the week this week comes from Emil and the Sniffers, Cartoon Darkness, and you're familiar with them a little bit. You've heard me play them in the car and stuff like that. But they have a newish album the last month or so, Cartoon Darkness. And the reason I'm doing this is album of the week, and I think I did this on the old YouTube Toy News album of the week, this same album. But this week, or last week, what is time, as we say, I was down in Kansas City. More on that in a little bit for a little story time. But I was down there and, of course, working, doing my day job as I am, on the road, traveling the highways and the byways, kissing babies, shaking hands, doing the things I do out there. But I was in a hotel at night, and usually what do I do at night? I go get a nice dinner. I try to at least. And I hit the stores, and I look for the action figures and stuff. Give me something to do. Then I come back to my hotel. I edit videos. I can never sleep in a hotel, so I get like 2 hours of sleep. Usually the way it goes. Rinse and repeat. But on this night, Emil and the Sniffers were in town at the Uptown Theater in Kansas City. And I don't think we've ever been there. We might have saw Motorhead and the Misfits there once upon it. Maybe not. Long story short, it was the Uptown Theater in Kansas City. It was an old place. Apparently it used to be a movie theater back in the day, and it was one of these movie theaters. I don't know if you've ever heard of these movie theaters that has like the smell-o-vision. So if like there was somebody was eating a strawberry pie, they would put strawberry scent into the room. So one of those cool old-time theaters. They don't really do that anymore, I don't think, but long before my time, but very cool idea, and that's what it was. But they tore all the seats, everything out of it. Now it is a place for shows. Kind of a mid-level venue. But let me tell you, it was packed like sardines in there. It was a packed show. It was very, very full. And it was an interesting one because I go to a lot of concerts. We've went to a lot of concerts over the years. And I would say they got the heavy metal, punk rock vibe kind of with it. Reminds me of Wendy O. Williams meets Motorhead. Kind of that vibe going on. You got a female singer, which, Angie, you know I'm not a huge fan of female singers usually. There's a few out there that I do enjoy. But I do like the energy. I do like what they're putting down. I like the little Motorhead, Wendy O. Williams vibe. Cartoon Darkness, another classic on their continued journey through albums. Definitely worth checking out. A lot of good songs on there, and it's a nice thing on a new album when you know that you've heard, it feels like you've heard these songs before the first time you're listening to them. So it gives me a little of that Motorhead feel where Motorhead, you know what you're getting yourself into. AC/DC, you know what you're getting yourself into. It's kind of rinse and repeat. I do get that a little bit with Emil and the Sniffers as well. But it was packed in there like sardines. And one thing is interesting is, Angie, you can attest to this. Most of these concerts that we went to back in the day and still go to occasionally here, it's full of dudes. It's a big sausage fest all the time. And you love that especially because you always get all the attention right there at those shows. But this is about a pretty good mix there. There was a lot of females in the audience here and a lot of young females, which is really good where it's nice to see young females getting into this kind of stuff. And it was crazy. Many of them in bikini tops and things like that, just to trying to match the singer, of course, I guess, Amy there. So that was wild to see just the diversity in the audience. As a lot of times punk rock, hard rock, heavy metal shows, it's pretty much all dudes, but it was a lot of girls. There was a lot of kids, my kids' age there. So made you kind of say, you know, the future is a little bit brighter than you think it is for live music and some of these non-pop or K-pop bands, I guess, in this household. So it was quite the show. It was definitely worth seeing. Of course, I'm in a hotel anyway, so why wouldn't I go to that? So it was quite the show. And if they do come to our area, Angie, maybe I can try to drag the kids to it. We'll see what happens. I think Emma might be into going to it. We'll see. I don't know. But that is the album of the week this week. An interesting album, more interesting concert, but a fun experience nonetheless. But Angie, now it's time for an all-timer. Are you ready for Tales from Retail?
Oh, gosh.
right, time for the segment that's sweeping the nation. It is Tales from Retail. Can we top the laptop story of last week? Maybe, but this one's fresh on my mind here. This one is pretty wild. This is from my recent Kansas City adventure. So I just talked about going down there for that concert. But of course, down during the day job, I was out in retail, out hitting the grocery stores down in the Kansas City area. And it was a wild time. And it always gets a little bit wild, store to store, seeing what's going on. And I told Angie about this. You're not going to believe it because you called me after it happened, but it was wild. But I was in a store. It was a store called Thriftway. I'm not super familiar with a Thriftway store. We don't have these in my area. I don't deal with them at all. I was just kind of along for the ride, just kind of seeing what all the fuss was about in town. But I'm at this Thriftway store, and it was a little rough. There's always these grocery stores that are, you got your super clean, nice grocery stores. You got your Walmarts, you got your Targets. Then you got the lower level chains like a Thriftway, not to throw them too far under the bus, but a pretty grimy little store. There were some shady characters coming out of there. I mean, they have armed security in there, so it's a tough store. They have shoplifting. There's all kinds of stuff. But the team was over there looking at some stuff, and I was breaking away for a phone call. So I'm off in the kind of the corner of the store on the phone, as I do, pacing around as I usually do as well. But all of a sudden, this lady walks up to me, and this lady, she had a kid on her, and she was holding this kid, and it looks like that kid never left. It was almost like you see the monkeys in the zoo, and the mom's like doing everything with that kid attached. She was like that. She comes and taps me on the shoulder, but as I see her gallivanting around the store after that, she's just like moving and shaking, and this kid and her, they were just like in unison. It was amazing. I was like, this is amazing. Like, that kid must just live on her 24/7.
Was it strapped on?
No, it wasn't strapped on or anything. It was a wild thing. I was like, man, I've never seen anybody like the kid. I mean, it had to have been like 1 year old maybe, and it was just like in perfect unison. The mom would move and it would move. It was amazing. So I was like going to call her out on them. Like, man, you guys are quite the duo. You're definitely related. That's for sure. But this lady taps me on the shoulder, and I was luckily finishing up my call. I said, "Oh, hey, Bob, I got to go." And I said, "Hey, can I help you?"
She's like, "Where's the milk?"
No, I wish she would have said that. It was very weird. She just looked me dead in the eye and said, "May I have a lock of your hair?" And I said, "Oh, what? Excuse me, what?" She goes, "I want a lock of your hair." And I'm like, "What are you going to do with a lock of my hair?" And she goes, "I'm going to make it into a ponytail to remember this moment." And I'm just like, looking at her. She goes, "You're Jesus, right?" And I looked at her, I was like, "What?" And she goes, "You're Jesus. You look identical to Jesus." And I said, "Well, it's funny you say that because in some circles, I am known as Bread Jesus, of course."
Oh my God.
But it was wild. I mean, she was not playing with a full deck of cards, that's for sure. I could tell that right away.
Wow.
But she said, "You look identical to Jesus." You probably hear that all the time. And I would love to have a lock of your hair to put on my hair as a ponytail. And I said, "Well, that's not going to happen." I said, "I don't have any scissors or anything." "Well, we can get some." I said, "I'm not cutting my hair." I said, "I cut a big chunk out. It's going to look weird on me." She goes, "Well, we'll get back in there where you can't." And I was like, "No, I'm not giving you." She goes, "Well, I'm just very happy I met you, and I hope you have a good day." And I was just like, okay. So very strange what you hear out there in some of those stuff. But in a little bit of a segue here, a little combining of stories. So I was at a different store in Kansas City a couple of years ago, which Kansas City's got some rough stores. And I guess like most towns, they got nice areas, they got bad areas, they got all that stuff. But I was at a Save-A-Lot store one time, which was wild. I don't ever do Save-A-Lots either, but we were part of a restructure of our company and getting new people on routes and things like that is what was going on. Going to the Save-A-Lot store, there was nothing on the shelves at all. And I want to say this was maybe the height of COVID, right before that, somewhere in the mix right there. But there was nothing on the shelves. Actually, it was before COVID, so this is quite some time ago. But there was nothing on the shelves at all. And I'm like, what is going on in this store? So we get to the manager, and I'm saying, "Hey, well, what's up? Are you guys closing? Are you going out of business?" And he's just looking at me like, and I don't know anything about this store. I don't know anything about this Save-A-Lot. He's like, "This is the way it always is." I'm like, "Really? How do you sell? You can't sell empty shelves." I say that all the time. And he said, "We get our trucks on Fridays." And he basically explained, and I saw it outside. I forgot to mention this point. There was a line outside. There was all kinds of stuff going on. I said, "What is going on?" "Well, our trucks come in on Friday. Everybody comes to know, and we fill it, we just throw it out there, and everybody sells out the whole store basically at once." I have never seen anything like that in my life. And obviously, this was a very depressed area, a very low-income area. So it was everybody gets their food stamps on Friday. They get their truck on Friday. They blow everything out of there. But it was wild. It looked like the store was 100% empty. But the wildest part is I'm helping the guy out there in the truck get some of the product out of the truck. and all of a sudden I hear gunfire. Gunfire shooting off in the parking lot. Like, this wasn't like miles away. I'm just like, what the heck? What is going on? I dive in the truck. And I'm asking the route guy, what the heck's going on? Oh, yeah, there's gunshots here all the time. This happens all the time. So, like, it was no big deal. And he's like, they're not shooting at us. They're shooting against each other somewhere else. We're not involved. And I'm like, well, I guess, he's kind of right. I guess, it could be like 10 cars down. People are shooting out. They're shooting at each other. And they're not shooting at us. But I had never been in the midst of shootings going on while I was out working my job. So that was pretty wild. Now, I've had shoplifters. I'll tell those stories in the future. I've had all kinds of fun, crazy stories about that. But I've never seen people actively firing at each other, basically being in a war zone. And I felt like I should have had a press hat on. Like, yeah, you're okay. He's a member of the press. We don't shoot the press guy. No, he's giving us the groceries. We don't shoot the grocery guy. He keeps us fed. So it was a wild time. Getting called out as Jesus. People wanting my hair. People shooting, a crazy store. It's just a wild time out there at retail. So Kansas City, never change, never leave. Keep your barbecue going. Keep the crazy stories coming. I'm here for them there. So that's a little bit of my time down in Kansas City. But Angie, we're almost home. We got to finish it out here. A lot of people have questions about this show, my YouTube channel and everything. We're going to start doing some viewer mail, just like we do on the weekly purchases with Question of the Week over on the YouTube channel. We're going to have one here. If somebody has a question, of course, put it in the comments of the YouTube of this very video for maybe inclusion next week, or email Angie and I at thekylepetersonshow@gmail.com, and you too could be question of the week. But now it is time for the question of the week. All right, time for Angie's question of the week. Angie's fan mail, Angie's mail. We got to figure out the segment title for this, but I want to hear from the viewers out there. We want to hear from the viewers out there. Either you're listening on the audio or the YouTube. Send us your questions. We'll answer whatever. This is not necessarily about action figures over on the Kyle Peterson Show. It's a part of it, of course, but anything is here in fair game, I would say. Maybe we get an Angie's advice segment. I get a lot of questions a lot of times saying, Angie or Kyle, how did you get a wife like Angie that's so supportive and does these things and that? What advice can you give? So maybe you can ask that stuff.
Oh, no.
Angie can give dating advice is what she could end up doing as well.
We don't get more marriage advice.
You can get all kinds of stuff. So Angie's a fountain of information there. But Angie is here this week, and we do got our first ever question, and we're going to do it. And Angie, take it away. Read the question. Who's it from?
All right. It's from 21 Plus Videos 0472. Going back to the start of your YouTube channel, when did you start to see serious growth of your channel? When did you, or should I stop there? There's 2 questions. And when did you start paying attention to the algorithm to grow even faster? We still don't really understand the algorithm.
There you go. So it's very funny. Started the YouTube channel 5 years ago, as many people watching this, of course. And it's been quite the adventure ever since. I don't know. What was the first part of the question? I forgot.
When did you start seeing serious growth?
So that's all relative. What is serious growth? I mean, it could be 5 subscribers. It could be 500 subscribers. But my story really started with me doing a video of just my collection and a lot of people subscribing off of that. And then a lot of people in the comments saying, when's the next video? When's the next video? And it snowballed from there is kind of where it went. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if I ever saw serious growth. I mean, it's all relative at the end of the day. There are YouTubers out there that would laugh at my subscriber numbers. And there's some people that would say, oh man, he's got 1 million subscriber numbers. So it's always kind of a head game right there. And really at the end of the day, you just got to live in the moment is what I do think. Now, one thing I think that I have over not just people on YouTube, but people in the regular world every single day, I am extremely consistent. And I think that is key. Consistency is key. I say it all the time at work, all the time. I might not be the smartest guy. I might not be the best at crunching numbers or whatever it may be, but I show up earlier than everybody. I stay later than everybody, and I get the job done in a timely fashion no matter what. I find a way to get it done. And we've seen that on YouTube as I am very regimented. I've been doing 4 videos a day for years at this point. Now a podcast here on top of all the fun stuff around the house here on the farm with the kids and the dogs and the wife, all that. And then a day job that is very demanding, very stressful, very long hours, 7 days a week, no vacation, all that kind of stuff. So I'm very, very regimented in all that kind of stuff. And I think that is one of the keys to YouTube or anything you do is to get in there, stay in the fight, keep on going, one step forward all the time, front after front, foot after foot, whatever you want to call it there. So that is one thing. So you always see a little growth, and you just hope that every video is better than the last one. Hopefully this podcast is better than podcast number 2. We'll see if that happens or not. So make sure you watch and thumbs up and all that stuff. But that's one thing. I saw a lot of growth at the beginning just because of that collection, and I think that collection was a nice springboard that maybe others do not have. It just kind of depends on what you're doing out there on YouTube, be it action figures, be it whatever you're doing. It isn't easy to start, but you just got to do it. And if you go back to my early videos, I'm sure Angie would say the same thing. Angie would say it right now. Oh, I look terrible. I look terrible in those ones. I'm so terrible. And you probably say that now. And, we all think that kind of stuff that, maybe I could have done better. I could have done better. But you just keep going. You keep on going. So that is what it is. But then what was the other one? What did you think about the algorithms?
Yeah, just like, we don't really understand the algorithm.
I've never understood the algorithms. I've had many people tell me, Kyle, you should only do 1 video a week, 1 video a month. You shouldn't do 4 a day. But that once again goes back to, you shouldn't be chasing the algorithm. At the end of the day, you should do something for fun. If you get a penny from it, great. If you get 500 pennies from it, hey, great. You're having fun. It's stress relief. It is what it is. That's what I would say. I don't know if there's anybody that figures out the algorithms. There's all these stupid videos on YouTube, stupid videos that here's how I got 1 million views. And does any of that stuff work? Is it all, I don't know. It could be conspiracy. Who knows what it is, but it just feels like clickbait. And that's one thing. I've said it before. You watch YouTube videos, there's a lot of videos that are full on clickbait. I am not really for that. I do an unboxing. I say, John Cena, Elite 118, unboxing. It is what it is. You know what you're getting yourself into. Where others will say, oh, is this the greatest John Cena figure of all time? Or I hate this, or they have an angry face or something. I feel like that's too much tomfoolery, too much trickery, but it works. That's how you get views. So you can do that road, or you can just do it the normal way. I don't know if the normal way is the right way. Once again, it goes back to not sure exactly on that answer. It's just, at the end of the day, don't worry about it. If you're having fun, success will come with it. I think that's goes for your work job, your life, your marriage, whatever it may be. As long as you're having fun and you're going forward after every single day, and it's fulfilling the inside of you, you win no matter what. No matter if you got 5 views or 5 million views. That's what I'm going to say.
Beautiful.
But I don't pay attention to the algorithm. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. It is what it is. You know what it is. Consistency is key. Long story short. Angie, anything to add to that? Nothing.
No, but if you could only upload once a day and get more subscribers, that'd be crazy.
So that's the thing.
What are you going to do?
And that's the thing. You could. I mean, I've heard that many times. If you upload 1 video a day, more people will check out just that 1 video. But if you give them 4, well, I kind of like John Cena, but I like this gorilla video better, so I'm going to watch that, and I'm going to skip the John Cena. Where if you just did 1 a day, maybe everybody would watch that one because it's the only option they have. So I get that too, and maybe I'm my own worst enemy in a lot of ways. So we'll see. Maybe we'll dial it back to just toy news, weekly purchases, the podcast, a top 5, and 1 unboxing a week. 5 videos a week.
That'd be crazy.
What would I do with all this extra time? I'd have to find another job. I'd figure something out. But there it is, Angie. That is the email of the week. If you want to be the email of the week, doesn't have to be action figures, could be whatever you want to talk about. Send me an email and Angie an email at thekylepetersonshow@gmail.com. And of course, put it in the comments of YouTube here, since there's no way to do audio comments, I don't think, in the audio stuff. But however you do it, we'll see what's going on. We'll try to do 1 question every single week. So that is the email of the week. All right, Angie, another episode in the can, episode 3. And I think we mentioned this before. Did you know the average podcast only lasts 3 episodes? We did it. This is the last and final episode. We made it. No, wait, let's do 4 episodes.
Okay.
That way we could say we beat the average out there. But no, they say most podcasts only last 3 episodes. So here we are at episode number 3. Will there be episode number 4? Only one way to find out. You got to subscribe to this wherever you do subscribe on your audio platforms. And of course, YouTube with episodes every single Tuesday morning. Hopefully you guys, and especially you gals out there, you guys hit me up later. Hopefully you're enjoying all the podcasts, all the videos, everything here on YouTube as well. But we made it to 3 episodes. Having fun so far, Angie?
Mm-hmm. I decided I'm going to lean back finally in the closing.
Yeah, she's going to lean back, not be on tense edge right there. Yeah, and you're looking very good today.
I'm cozy.
You're looking very nice today.
You're always looking nice.
It's a great view from right here. Let me tell you. I wish you guys all had this view. Maybe I'll start wearing a camera hat, and then you can see just multiple views on this.
Especially when I'm laughing.
Oh yeah, it's a great. And people appreciate it, Angie. People appreciate a little bit of dose of Angie here. I know I do for sure. But a lot going on, of course. Videos keep on going. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. The Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com is the best way to get a hold of us. Of course, YouTube comments is passable as well if you want to do that. I did mention my book available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble right now. Appreciate all the support over there. Got to thank DJC Collectibles being the title sponsor of this podcast. Shout out to them. Use discount code 8OFFDJC to save 8% off your entire order. Got a DJC Collectibles delivery coming to the house today. Cannot wait to see that. We'll see what we got from there. Stay tuned to those unboxings as well. And if you want to be the sponsor of the Kyle Peterson Show, hit us up at the KylePetersonShow@gmail.com as well. But besides that, I think that's it. We'll see what happens in these WrestleMania predictions. A lot going on.
I forgot.
A lot going on. That'll be a couple of weeks from now, as we're having to film this before WrestleMania. So we'll get it. We'll figure it out. Stay tuned, of course. Like, comment, subscribe, follow the YouTube channel. All the usual stuff. Should be interesting times. So there it is, Angie, for episode number 3 of the Kyle Peterson Show. We'll see all you guys real soon.